There is a very special difference between a man who simply notices you and a man who cannot stop carrying you in his mind. One admires, flirts, disappears, comes back when it is convenient. The other hears your voice long after the conversation is over, remembers the exact look in your eyes, replays your smile in the dark, and suddenly starts comparing every other woman to the feeling you created in him. And that is where astrology becomes dangerous in the most irresistible way, because every zodiac sign falls in love through a different door. One man surrenders through mystery, another through warmth. One is captured by challenge, another by peace. One knows in the first 5 seconds that you are trouble he wants forever. Another fights his feelings for months, maybe years, before admitting that you have already become his favorite thought. If you know his zodiac sign, you can understand not only what attracts him, but what haunts him. You can understand what kind of woman slips under his skin, what awakens his protectiveness, what makes him crave another message, another meeting, another excuse to stay near you. Some men fall because you make them feel admired. Some because you make them feel safe enough to show the parts of themselves they hide from the world. Some because you remain slightly out of reach, like a song they cannot stop listening to because it never fully gives itself away. The biggest mistake women make is trying to be universally irresistible. That never works. Real power begins when you stop trying to enchant everyone and start learning the private emotional code of the one you want. That is how you become unforgettable. That is how you stop being just another beautiful woman and become the woman who lingers in his mind at work, in traffic, at midnight, in the quiet moment before sleep. So tonight we are opening that secret map. We are going sign by sign into the male heart, how he falls, what kind of woman he cannot shake off when he realizes that what he feels is real, and what makes him return again and again in thought even when he tries not to. Because the truth is simple, every man has a weak point, and when the right woman touches it, he stops pretending he is in control. Aries. An Aries man starts thinking about you day and night when you make him feel alive, not comfortable, first alive. He is drawn to a woman with spark, confidence, quick wit, and a little fire in her eyes, a woman who does not melt too quickly and does not chase him with obvious need. He loves the feeling of pursuit, but not because he wants games, because he wants intensity. He falls in love with women who awaken his competitive heart and make him feel that winning them means something. The fastest way into his head is to be vivid, memorable, slightly unpredictable, and fully yourself. He notices the woman who enters a room as if she belongs there. He remembers the one who can tease him, challenge him, laugh at him a little, and still make him feel admired. What does he like most in a woman? Passion, freshness, energy, spontaneity, and a sense that life beside her will never become dull. Aries often understands very quickly when he has met someone special. Sometimes it is almost at first sight, sometimes within the first conversation. Give him warmth, but keep your own rhythm. Let him feel that being near you is exciting and being without you is noticeably less bright. That contrast is what keeps him replaying you in his mind. Taurus. A Taurus man does not fall because of noise, chaos, or dramatic seduction. He falls because you begin to feel like peace. He does not want to lose. If you want him thinking about you constantly, create a presence around him that feels beautiful, soft, feminine, and real. Taurus is ruled by pleasure, but not cheap excitement, deep pleasure, the kind that settles into the body and stays there. He remembers your perfume, the way your voice calms him, the warmth of your hand, the softness of your clothes, the feeling that with you he does not have to perform. He is not easily rushed, and that is why many women misread him. He may seem slow, but inside he is measuring whether you are temporary desire or lasting treasure. What he likes most in a woman is natural sensuality, emotional steadiness, loyalty, grace, and the ability to make ordinary moments feel rich. He falls in love not in one explosive second, but in layers. At first he enjoys you, then he trusts you. Then one day he realizes that you have quietly become part of his inner world, and from that moment he is far more attached than he admits. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes months. Gemini. If you want a Gemini man to think about you morning, noon, and midnight, you must first catch his mind. Beauty may attract him, but it is never enough to keep him. Gemini falls in love through curiosity. He becomes obsessed with the woman who surprises him intellectually, who says something he did not expect, who can move from flirtation to depth to laughter in a single conversation. He loves women who are alive mentally, quick on their feet, emotionally flexible, playful, and impossible to reduce to one simple category. The woman who gets into his head is the one he cannot fully figure out, not because she is manipulative, but because she is layered. He wants to keep discovering her. What does he like most in a woman? Intelligence, humor, youthfulness of spirit, charm, spontaneity, and the ability to keep things fresh. He can feel fascinated very fast, sometimes within minutes. Let him feel your attention, but do not give him every thought, every plan, every emotion at once. Leave little doors half open. Speak to his mind, flirt with elegance, and stay emotionally light enough that he associate you with pleasure rather than pressure. A Gemini man thinks constantly about the woman who stimulates him and still leaves him wanting one more conversation. Cancer. A Cancer man begins thinking about you day and night when you touch not only his attraction, but his tenderness. This is a man who may appear guarded, ironic, even hard to read at first, but his real life happens under the surface. He does not truly fall for the loudest woman in the room. He falls for the one who makes him feel deeply seen. The woman who notices his silences, understands his moods, respects his sensitivity, and knows how to be warm without being intrusive, becomes unforgettable to him. What he likes most in a woman is softness, sincerity, loyalty, emotional intelligence, and that rare feminine energy that makes him feel both desired and safe. Cancer can experience a powerful emotional pull surprisingly early, sometimes even at first sight if the feeling is strong enough, but he often hides it. He protects his heart until he believes you are not careless with it. That means his true realization may come later after a few heartfelt conversations, after the first moment he feels he can trust you, after he sees how you treat vulnerable things. To get into his head, do not try to overpower him. Draw him in with warmth, gentleness, and genuine attention. Leo. A Leo man thinks about you day and night when you make him feel chosen in a way that flatters his soul, not just his ego. Many women assume Leo only wants admiration, but that is too simple. Yes, he loves attention, beauty, radiance, and a woman who sees his strengths. He is drawn to women who are feminine, confident, glamorous in their own way, emotionally generous, and proud to stand beside him without fading into his shadow. What does he like most in a woman? Brightness, loyalty, elegance, warmth, sensuality, and the ability to make love feel grand, meaningful, and unforgettable. Notice his effort, his ambition, his generosity, his style, his courage. At the same time, keep your own value high. Leo does not obsess over women who worship him blindly. He obsesses over women who shine beside him and still make him feel like a king. Be affectionate, be radiant, be a little dramatic in the most beautiful way. Let him feel that with you love is not small, gray, or forgettable. For Leo, the unforgettable woman is the one who makes his heart feel larger, warmer, and more alive every time she enters the room. Virgo. A Virgo man is one of the hardest to read and one of the deepest to win. He does not fall loudly. He falls carefully. If you want him thinking about you day and night, you need to understand that he is watching everything: your tone, your consistency, the way you treat people, the way you speak under pressure, the small details that reveal who you really are. Virgo is drawn to a woman who is feminine but intelligent, composed but not cold, kind without being naive, and quietly confident in who she is. What does he like most in a woman? Clean energy, sincerity, depth, intelligence, emotional maturity, subtle sensuality, and the feeling that she is genuine rather than performative. He does not always recognize love quickly. Be thoughtful, be reliable. Notice the details he thinks no one sees. Show depth without drama. Keep your standards. A Virgo man falls hardest for the woman who feels rare, refined, and emotionally safe. When he realizes that being near you quiets his mind instead of exhausting it, that is the moment he understands he has met someone his heart cannot easily replace. Libra. A Libra man starts thinking about you day and night when you create a feeling around yourself that is impossible to replace. He is not captured only by beauty, although beauty absolutely matters to him. He is captured by harmony, charm, softness, elegance, and the subtle art of making him feel good in your presence. Libra falls in love through atmosphere. He remembers the woman whose voice sounds like peace, whose smile softens his mood, whose style feels effortless, and whose femininity is strong without becoming aggressive. What he likes most in a woman is grace, intelligence, emotional balance, social ease, sensuality, and the ability to make romance feel beautiful instead of heavy. Libra often feels attraction very quickly. He notices details: the way you dress, how you speak to waiters, whether you create calm or chaos, whether being near you feels like emotional luxury. A Libra man becomes obsessed with the woman who makes life feel more beautiful. When he starts associating you with ease, romance, inspiration, and that rare feeling of, I want more time with her, he does not forget you. He keeps returning mentally to the woman who made the ordinary world seem softer and brighter. Scorpio. A Scorpio man thinks about you day and night when you touch something in him that he cannot control. He is not interested in superficial attraction for long. He wants depth, intensity, emotional truth, sensual magnetism, and a connection that feels fated rather than convenient. He may flirt, test, disappear for a moment, come back stronger, but beneath all that he is looking for a woman who gets under his skin. What does he like most in a woman? Mystery, loyalty, inner strength, emotional depth, sensual presence, honesty, and the kind of feminine energy that feels both soft and dangerous. Scorpio does not truly fall for the woman who gives everything away too quickly. He falls for the one whose eyes make him ask questions, whose silence says something powerful, whose loyalty feels real, and whose feelings are deep enough to match his own. Sometimes he knows very early, almost instantly, that a woman will matter to him. The moment Scorpio realizes that your presence affects his body, his mind, and his heart all at once, he is in trouble, because from that moment on, he will think about you in obsessive, private, unforgettable ways. For Scorpio, love becomes real when it becomes impossible to shake. Sagittarius. A Sagittarius man starts thinking about you day and night when you make him feel that life with you could be bigger, freer, and more alive than life without you. He does not fall for control. He does not stay because of pressure. He falls for inspiration. The woman who lives fully, laughs easily, speaks honestly, and carries a sense of adventure in her energy becomes magnetic to him. What he likes most in a woman is independence, warmth, humor, openness, intelligence, passion, and the feeling that she is not trying to cage him. Sagittarius is one of those men who can feel fascinated very quickly. Sometimes within the first conversation, he already knows you are different. But love, real love, usually grows when admiration is joined by emotional ease. He needs to feel that with you he can be himself, curious, restless, hopeful, spontaneous. To get into his head, become the woman he associate with possibility. Do not burden the early connection with fear, jealousy, or constant emotional demands. Give him honesty, give him energy, give him stories, ideas, and a sense that every conversation opens another horizon. Capricorn. A Capricorn man begins thinking about you day and night when he realizes you are not a distraction, you are value. This is not the easiest man to win quickly, because he watches carefully, protects his time, and does not hand out deep emotional investment for nothing. He is drawn to women who have class, self-respect, intelligence, loyalty, depth, and a calm kind of strength. What does he like most in a woman? Elegance without trying too hard, inner dignity, emotional steadiness, ambition or purpose, reliability, and a softness that appears only when it is real. Capricorn notices far more than he says. He pays attention to whether you respect yourself, whether your words match your actions, whether you bring peace or chaos into a room. He may find a woman attractive immediately, sometimes even at first sight, but true love usually grows slowly. For many Capricorn men, it takes time before they admit that someone has become important. He resists vulnerability because once he commits, he means it. The way into his head is through consistency, quiet confidence, and emotional maturity. Do not try to provoke him into chasing you with childish games. Show him substance. Let him see that you are warm, but not weak, loving, but not reckless, beautiful, but not empty. Aquarius. An Aquarius man thinks about you day and night when you become the one person he cannot mentally outgrow. He is attracted to beauty, yes, but beauty alone will never hold him. Aquarius falls in love with originality. He notices the woman who thinks differently, speaks honestly, surprises him, and has a world of her own. What he likes most in a woman is individuality, freedom of spirit, wit, emotional honesty, inner confidence, and the sense that she is not trying to become what others expect. Aquarius can feel a sudden electric attraction very fast, sometimes in minutes, because his connections often begin in the mind like lightning. But understanding that he is in love may take much longer. He is famous for needing time to interpret his own feelings. Be interesting because you truly are interesting, not because you are trying to perform mystery. Talk to him about ideas, dreams, odd things, real feelings, future possibilities. Aquarius falls hardest for the woman who feels like a once-in-a-lifetime conversation and an emotional safe place at the same time. When he finally understands that he misses not just your words but your essence, that is when he knows this is no ordinary connection. Pisces. A Pisces man starts thinking about you day and night when you awaken his imagination and touch his heart at the same time. He is one of the most romantic men of the zodiac, but also one of the easiest to misunderstand. He may drift, hesitate, fantasize, idealize, retreat, return not because he does not feel, but because he feels so much that reality can overwhelm him. What does he like most in a woman? Tenderness, empathy, beauty, softness, emotional depth, romantic femininity, kindness, and the ability to understand what he cannot always say clearly. Pisces falls in love through feeling, atmosphere, intuition, and soul recognition. Sometimes he knows almost instantly. He can look at a woman and feel that something sacred has just happened. But in other cases, he may float in uncertainty for a long time, especially if he fears disappointment or senses emotional danger. To get into his head, do not be harsh, overly practical, or emotionally cold. Give him warmth, emotional poetry, a listening heart, and a little mystery. He remembers the woman who felt like a dream but treated him with genuine care. He wants romance, but not emptiness. He wants depth, but not cruelty. He falls hardest for the woman who seems to understand the invisible parts of him, the moods, hopes, wounds, and secret beauty he rarely trusts the world to hold gently. When a Pisces man begins associating you with emotional magic, inner peace, and the feeling that love might actually be real this time, you stay with him, not just in thought, but in fantasy, memory, longing, and all the secret rooms of his heart.